Unless Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 87, even though it says 86 up there. It's 87 of Technically Trek, the OG Technically Trek. I am your host, Dave Prime. Over on your right, my left is, well, I'm pointing left so you can see her on my right, is Captain Katie or Ditzy Witch. How you doing, my dear?
I am absolutely fabulous, my darling. I always laugh when you try and get the point in the right
Oh,
way.
oh, yeah, I've gotten good. I got on my little script over here, I say point to the left.
I don't. Am I pointing at you right now?
Nope, you point the other way.
Oh,
You gotta.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, I've got to point to the right. Yeah, I'm all over the place today, but I've been around a lot of children. I've been at a play centre with some friends, and I ended up smelling of cake, even though I've washed twice since. I still smell of cake, so I think that's what's making me hungry. Because I've just said to Dave that I'm like suddenly really hungry, and oh, back here makes an appearance early. Woo!
Way early.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
Was
and
it?
now I'm all the way over here. Honestly, this camera, it's
Oh, and we had the Zoom Katie backstage earlier, so
I know, and I didn't bother correcting it, and I should have done because it looks so much better when Bat Katie appears and I'm this far away.
hmm. No, but yeah, a lot's been going on the past week. I may have kind of alluded to it last week. I got this.
Yay! Oh, I'm so proud of you, my darling.
Just showing it's got me tears in my eyes. I mean, there was a time that I couldn't make it 18 hours without having a drink. So to go 18 months sober is it's huge. And
It really
here's
is.
to 18 months more and another 18 after that, and just keep on trucking.
You are doing so fantastic. You really are. And I know that I've said this before, but I will not stop saying it. Your strength and determination is astonishing. And I take strength from you
Thank you.
every single day. Whenever I am struggling with my health, and even with my writing, if I'm getting really annoyed with it, if I can't get the right wording or whatever, I just sit back and I draw my strength from your journey because it's an epic one that you're on, and the epic adventure will continue.
Exactly. Wow, can't talk today. Um, but yeah, it's been a rough week because as I shared before, Friday marked 37 years of my best friend passing away. Someone in the house almost died on the same day. Yeah, saying the one of his roommates was able to resuscitate him. He cracked his sternum a little bit, but he's still alive.
It's quite common when you do CPR to crack a rib
Yeah,
or a sternum or something.
yeah. That's why I say that's common. I'm not surprised, but yeah, we're here to support him at the house. So and
Absolutely.
and had to kick somebody out this week too. So it's been sorry. See, I'm doing no shave November, so I got a little stuff on my lip. I'm sorry.
The
See, I've
joys of
just
being a
enjoyed.
woman, I couldn't do that.
See, I've just got to enjoy this new Star Trek mug. One of the guys at the house bought for me. It's got a bunch of the NXL-1, Voyager, the original Enterprise, the D, the Defiant, the Discovery. So
Oh, I
it's got a
love that. Oh, that's my Voyager. Oh,
yeah,
I love that.
yeah. But we just saw it randomly at a coffee shop that we stopped by after we were going to check in on the resident. Because honestly, when the paramedics left with him Friday night, everyone thought he was dead. That's why they didn't bother the
Yeah.
lights or anything because there's no point. But he was still alive. They were able to stabilize him.
I'm
And
so pleased.
when we called the hospital in the morning, I was in tears when they said he was still alive. So I was just like, thank the prophets. I mean, we all prayed for him that night. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and then I went to that coffee shop again today when I had to get my car inspected. My Funko Pop collection is continuing. The box was
Yay.
damaged. The box was damaged, so I got a Beckett Mariner Funko Pop.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, she's got skinny legs, so she's got a little stand for it. But
Yeah, I think my C3PO has got a stand,
mm,
um, because his legs are so slim.
yeah, but, unfortunately, Travis was not able to join us tonight because he's having some technical. Excuse me. It's November and I'm still having allergy issues. It's amazing what this state does to me sometimes.
I
But yeah,
understand that.
he's having some technical issues trying to get the link to work for StreamYard, so he decided to reboot the laptop, and the laptop just froze on him. So I pray that
Do
he
you know
doesn't
what
have
though?
any viruses or anything.
There has been so much going on with technology right now. I mean, take my webcam issues out of the
Hmm.
equation because that's just, yeah, that's just possessed. I swear. Yeah. Hello,
Or
computer.
yeah, so
Um,
when I saw you post that, Jim, it's just like, oh, how very fitting.
but yeah, there's been so much going on with technology recently, and I'm at a point now where nothing surprises me with technology. I mean, if my PC was to suddenly grow arms and legs and strike up a waltz with me, I wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't. Um, but yeah, it's all happening.
Yeah, but it's saying he did text me some entertainment news today. Marks the passing of two great people in the entertainment industry. One, Pat Morisha, if I hope I said his last name right, from the Mr. Miyagi from the Karate Kid. Yeah, he passed away on this day back in '05, so 20 years ago.
I completely forgot.
And then, of course, the big one is, well, in some circles, Freddie Mercury passed away on this day in 1991.
Oh, he did. Oh, do you know what? I forget anniversaries. I do. But yeah, that was such a loss.
It was.
I mean, Freddie Mercury is a legend, and I absolutely adore Queen. I really do. Um,
And, And from what I've heard, Adam Lambert's done a real good job being the front man for the band to this day.
He is not bad. I will say that he is a very good tribute to. I mean, nobody can replace Freddie,
No,
but
absolutely not.
he Adam Lambert, I've obviously not live, but I've seen online performances, and he really is good, and he is definitely doing Freddie Mercury justice. And I do think that, Freddie Mercury is up there, and he is. Hi, Jim. And I do think that he is approving of
Hmm.
of Adam Lambert. Um, but it's always, yeah, and I hope you're well too, my darling. Mwah. I I don't like losing people from the world of entertainment. Well, I don't like losing people anyway, but especially when it's the legends that go, like Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, in like the music world, and then you go over to like film and TV, and you know, oh, what's his name? Alan Rickman.
Mm.
He's a legend. Maggie Smith. Um, and I mean, so many legends have got. I mean, Brandon Lee. I mean, I know that was a long time ago,
Well,
but
that was back in the still like the late '90s, early 2000s.
yeah, I mean, I swear, we lose anyone else from the Trek world, I may pitch a hissy fit. I mean, unless it's Shatner. But
You'll cry a little bit.
actually, I won't. I'll probably be the only one grinning. I know that sounds awful. I know it does. I do have an evil streak to me, and I do not apologize for it. But no, I'll just be like, he had a good run. I won't. I won't celebrate his passing as such, but it wouldn't phase me. I mean, honestly, Ozzy Osbourne, yeah, big mess, huge,
Well,
like heartbroken.
it's funny you mentioned that. This will be the last technical thing of Technically Trek until we start talking about generations some more. But I was listening to 80s on 8 on Sirius XM today, and there apparently is a duet that Ozzy Osbourne did with Madonna. That was my reaction too. Just like, really? There was a 12-inch out there that the two I can't remember all the details, but there was a duet with Osbourne and Madonna.
I cannot believe I didn't know that, because I have always been a very big Black Sabbath fan, especially Ozzy, and my ex was like a massive Madonna fan. And I never knew that.
Hmm. So yeah, Alan Rickman, I think he would have done well with Doctor Who.
I disagree.
Really.
Yeah, I think, how can I put this without sounding horrible? I think Alan Rickman was too refined to play Doctor Who.
Well, it could also play into where he could go into another aspect of his acting
True,
chops and do something a little different. So,
true. I mean, I think he would have been okay, but I just think that it wouldn't have suited him.
hmm.
Is I think what I mean. Um, Although I would have loved to have seen him in Trek. I really would. I think he'd have made a really good Romulan.
Hmm.
I really do believe that Alan Rickman would have made a brilliant Romulan because he can project that air about him, and especially with all the bad guys and like good guys pretending to be bad, that he's played. He can channel that energy, that arrogance, that flippant attitude. And so yeah, I do. Oh, I'm glad you agreed, Jim. So yeah, I think that he would have made a good Romulan.
But
But no
yeah, so
Romulans in the show today. It's Klingons.
yeah, it's well, no, there are dead Romulans in the movie. As
Oh
the armor
yes, there
goes
are
to the
dead
reserve.
Romulans. Yes, I forgot about that
Um,
actually.
dead bloody Romulans. But yeah,
Yes.
say so. Yeah, we're going to get started. Say just so you know, one thing that makes our show unique to other Star Trek podcasts is that we welcome and encourage live participation with us on camera. And the chat on the YouTube is great, so you can interact that way. But if you want to come on live and speak your mind, feel free to do so. If you're camera shy, you can turn the camera off on StreamYard, which the link is down below. You just click that, then you just click add to the chat. You'll get put
Ta-da!
backstage, and then we'll get you all set up with that. And oh, I thought I saw something glitch there for a second. Um, but yeah, I say. But if you're comfortable with just chatting in the YouTube, that works fine too. Because right now it's just me and Katie, so we got 8 slots available for you to pick a spot.
Well,
But
yeah, and we would love for you to come and, even if you don't want to show your face, which, we would love to see your beautiful faces, but we would just at bare minimum love to hear your beautiful voices. And everyone
yeah,
has their own opinions. I mean, me and Travis clash all the time when it comes to Trek, but we always have a laugh about it. And come harass the crazy British witch. I really don't mind, and I I would love to speak to viewers who have very different opinions that could, be classed as like very out there, because I have some out there opinions too, and you know I read into things in ways that a lot of people don't. And if there's anybody watching who reads into things in a way other people don't, including myself, that would be very interesting.
oh yeah, and that
um
and that just kind of brings into the fact that while texting something is great, we don't know your inflections. We don't know how you're presenting that way because it can get taken the wrong way.
it can.
But yeah, as you can see, I have my camera off, but you can still hear me. And even if you have a little avatar, it shows you when you're talking. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't
But
understand why my avatar doesn't show, because it's connected to my YouTube, it's connected to my Facebook, and my profile picture is the same, so I don't know where mine is.
I'm not sure how I got mine to set up. I'll have to look at that
Oh,
backstage and help you with that.
yeah.
But I know I was remiss in kind of making mention of our streaming partner Dubby. I was kind of in that point where um, my doctor says I got to start watching my caffeine intake,
Yeah.
but it's like there's so many flavors I want to try out. If I regulate it, it's great. But what is Dubby exactly that you ask? Dubby is an emergency brand of energy drinks. You can't tell I'm reading the script, can you? It's created to, well, but it's created to help with concentration, focus, reaction time, but it doesn't give you the jitters or the crash like a lot of energy drinks do. W doesn't contain any of the maltodextrin, sugars, fillers, artificial colors, dyes. Their mission statement is to empower small and upcoming streamers like us to get just work alongside us to assist our channel grow and flourish. And they do have plans on providing more solutions for gamers. because that's like the big thing. Because if you want to really grind to do a jam, you want to kill Bowser on Mario World or whatever. It kind of gives you that little bump that it needs. Saying that yeah, say they're based down in San Diego, so Tyson's neck of the woods. So you're
Ooh.
buying American. And saying, but right now, yeah, typically you always say, oh, you'll get 10% off your order if you do anything online with them. But if you go there between now and the end of the month, you get 30% off. So that's a great Black
30.
Friday deal that they
I
got going.
thought it was only 20.
No, it was 10.
Wow. Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
I knew
right
it was
now,
originally 10, but I thought it had gone up to 20, so 30 is even better. Wow.
yeah, say they still don't like I like Chainsaw Man, Solo Leveling. They're kind of like because they got licensing agreements with those guys. But they also got some other great flavors like purple dub sauce, big energy tears, galaxy grenade. The one that I really want to try is s'mores, which you mix with milk instead of water. And they even got awesome little tumblers like my boyfriend here.
Dave, I love you so much.
I know. He's my boyfriend and he doesn't know it yet.
But also something else that I brought up a couple of weeks ago as well. Even though, I mean, don't get me wrong, it something like Dubby is really good for gamers, podcasters, but also for students who are studying for finals or just any form of exams, and they really need to cram in as much as they can, especially if they've got like work that they have to go to between classes or after classes, and then they've got
hmm
their home lives. They have no choice but to stay up late sometimes to study, and something like Dubby would be absolutely brilliant. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but like I said, between now and the end of the month, go to w.gg, check the product out, see what you like, order it, and I say and a portion of that kind of goes back to the channel, so that helps us out a little bit too. So, yeah, 30% off until November 30th, and I've actually seen some new products that they're putting out that they're making it available for the partners right now that they're not going to launch it until after the first of the month, but some of that stuff looks really good. So looking forward to
Yeah.
that. But I think that is everything on my
One thing that I do
script.
just want to put out there, I do apologize if I am yawning excessively tonight. I have been awake since about 8 a.m. Saturday morning, and it is now 2 a.m. Tuesday morning here.
Hmm. Which
So
which we that's one thing we love about your insomnia, kitties, that you're able to co-host with me. So
in all honesty, the my insomnia gave me my DT family and technically Trek and all that. So this is why I don't really complain all that much about my insomnia anymore. It's how I live, and I'm very thankful for all the wonderful people that I have met because of my insomnia. So it's just the way the cookie crumbles.
yeah. But anyways, yeah, so Generations. I mean, it's been 31 years since that came out on the air out in theaters. The only movie I've seen 8 times in theaters. I was 18. I was a super duper geek back then.
Although it has also just been the anniversary, was it yesterday or the day before, if I'm remembering rightly, of when First Contact went into
Yes.
theaters.
That that
Um,
that's that's the thing that I was thinking, oh, God mentioned that too. So,
yeah, and we all know that that's my favorite Trek movie.
of course.
But it
Well, it is the best of the of the 4 that came out for Next Generation, hands
Yes,
down.
I do agree. I do agree. It's the first ever Star Trek movie I saw that I liked. It's what got me loving Star
Oh,
Trek.
dang it!
And
No,
I'm very thankful that I accidentally saw that movie because it's brought me so much joy and a semi unhealthy addiction with certain TV series. But I'm happy with that. It could be worse.
yeah, but okay, yeah. Jim's listening in the background, so I'm trying to remember all the stuff that we talked about last week. Of course, the the big the big moment of the movie that I remember when we first saw it, when I first saw it, is it was like there's like half the crowd was laughing their asses off, and the other half was groaning. Data's oh shit.
And you see, do you know what? That moment there, that very specific moment,
Hmm.
was, I think, when Data's emotion chip actually synced with him properly, because that was the most appropriate 2 words that he could have said in that moment. And in all honesty, I think if I'd have been sat there and I saw the ship go, like I was in the ship and I saw it going down for a crash landing, I'd have just been like, oh shit.
Hmm.
And it was used in context, and the fact that it was Data that said it.
Exactly. I think that's where a little bit of both the groans and the laughs were coming from. Say, "Oh my God, did Data just say what I thought he said?"
Well, yeah, I mean,
And
he may be all prim and proper, but when push comes to shove, when he's now got emotion, the curses will fly,
yeah,
And I was quite happy with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did laugh, and I was just like, oh,
oh, I laughed too.
Data. Yeah, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I saw all of these movies like way after they came out.
Yeah.
I was a very late Trekkie, and I'm a very bad one now. But that moment. You see, I like that entire scene because now I didn't get round to mentioning this last time, but seeing as you brought it up, and it's like within the scene, I absolutely adore Data in this entire crash landing scene because he did everything in his power to protect Deanna.
Hmm.
And he had a beam fall on him at one point because he was protecting her. He
No.
he wrapped himself around her. He made sure her head was protected. And even though it was clear to see that he was terrified, he still did everything he could to protect her. And that for me was just, it was quite moving, especially with all of the ups and downs with his emotion chip and how extreme his emotions were while it was like syncing with his system, and how he was able to control his emotions to look out for others. That was like a bit of a proud moment for me for Data. And I was very moved by the whole scene.
There you go. That's better.
I thought my camera was going weird there.
I just realized I'm using the wrong template.
But no, I do like that scene. And I mean the entire thing, I mean not just Data, but like I mean when is it Worf who goes flying over the?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just, I mean, someone goes flying backwards over it, and then Worf just, honestly, it was a really well put together scene. And then when it actually came to a stop, and that's when everything had just had enough and everything just went rushing forward. It was very ominous. I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, you know, the Enterprise D was no more. But the entire set and everything was so well put together that the actors did an amazing job. And obviously, you know, stunt doubles and all that jazz. And just everything about that scene for me was right. I don't see anything bad about it. And it's very rare that I say that about a scene, especially that one's so big. There's usually something that's amiss in it, but that was choreographed to perfection.
Well, and not only that, I've actually heard this directly from Marina Sirtis, that when they rebuilt the bridge for the movie, it was on hydraulics. So there was no
Yeah.
fake, say, dodge to the left, dodge to the right. When that thing was moving, they were properly stumbling around and falling on their face in a lot of those takes. So it was
Yeah.
definitely a new experience for the actors, for faking it for 7 years to actually experiencing it. And I believe they said the
Oh yeah.
Enterprise B bridge was designed the same way, where it was actually shaking.
Yeah, and that as well just adds more catastrophe to a scene. And I don't just mean like it improves the scene itself. I mean catastrophe for the actors, you know, like their placements and everything. And the fact that they all had specific things to do while the set was actually moving, that takes a lot of doing to get it right still. But it did actually look a lot more realistic when,
Absolutely.
because you could hear the shaking in their voices as well.
Oh, you could hear the shaking in general, just the thing squeaking and squawking as the after the saucer was sliding along the planet, just like
Yeah, and it was such a big moment in Star Trek, that not just in the movie but in Trek in general, because TNG had become so epic, in a way a lot more popular than TOS. And we'd all grown accustomed to that ship for what, 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's a TNG movie and it's like, oh, you know. And in the first TNG movie, the ship gets destroyed, the ship we know and love. And
Which I think, even though they used a lot of stock shots and whatnot for the movie, I mean, it looked beautiful on the big screen.
oh, absolutely.
And those that were lucky enough to see Picard in the movie theaters, when I believe when they released the last two episodes in the theater, that scene when the Enterprise was coming out of the Fleet Museum, everyone was
Oh,
just screaming and shouting.
I cried.
Um,
I cried. I know that I say this a lot, but I cry when watching Trek, and I am not ashamed of it, people. I am a very emotionally aware person, and you know, letting loose with your emotion in that way is good and it's very healthy. But when, I mean, especially when it was revealed, you know, in the Fleet Museum and the Enterprise D was back, I I cried, and I cried when it came out, and yeah, it was
It's
just
like, I knew it was coming because I read the spoilers on the interwebs and all that, but saying I'll address that in a second, Jim. Um, but yeah, saying but to see it and
yeah,
unfortunately Travis isn't here to share with it because as people that have watched this show for a while, we've shared that we would both get home from our respective jobs. We would wait until it released at midnight midnight Pacific, so it was like 3 a.m. for him. Yet
yeah,
he stayed up to watch it, and then we were essentially like three, two, one, go, and we would both click at the same time. We were sometimes a second or two off, and if I heard that if I was like a second or two ahead of him, I would pause it, then unpause it really quick, so we could even get more synchronous in that regard. But
yeah,
when the Enterprise was revealed, the musical score was just beautiful. I
yeah,
true to the original, mixed up with a little McCarthy's Generations theme and all that, but it just like mm, it was perfect. I was crying
yeah.
and seeing YouTube videos of those that were crying about it. It just like oh
Honestly, I will tell you a story now. When I watched that scene in Picard where it was revealed that Geordie had salvaged the Enterprise D and
the
the lights went on, I cried. Luckily, you know, I watched it early on. I didn't leave it until last minute or anything, but I had to pause, and because I just had tears streaming down my face. I was
mm,
just so happy and just like proper hitting the feels. I went to go make myself a coffee, and my mum was just like, "You all right, love?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm watching Star Trek, Mum. It's fine. It's fine." And she's just like, "Okay," and I'm just like, "The Enterprise D's back." And she's just like, "Okay." Um, and then again, like I started watching it again once I like composed myself, and then when it flew out, I was crying again, and I
oh
had to pause, and I went to make another coffee. I literally downed my coffee. I burnt my tongue and everything,
mm,
and my mum was just like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Star Trek again.
yeah
It's gonna kill me one day, man." She was
yeah
just like laughing so much.
but yeah, saying when I say the music, I mean the music was just so intense.
Yeah.
Though it gave me goosebumps. The only other time I've got goosebumps from music from a Star Trek episode was part one, Best of Both Worlds, when Riker orders Worf to fire, and just
Oh
that Ron
yeah.
Jones is just like dun dun dun. It's like the
Yeah.
the goosebumps just started creeping up and just like going all the way down both my arms as the music kept on going. And no matter how many times I mentally prepare myself to when I rewatch that, still get freaking goosebumps. Same with episode 9 Vox. And say I get goosebumps. And say I'll sometimes I'll crank the music to intentionally cause me to get goosebumps. Say, crap, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about my goosebumps.
It's amazing how they can get it so right sometimes. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes, even in Trek, that they can get the music a little bit wrong. Not
Mm,
often, but that there are times when it's just been like, that didn't quite fit that scene. But, in 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 like, especially the movies, like with like First Contact and even Insurrection, and I don't give a crap what people say. I love that movie. Um, and then certain episodes they get it so right. The music itself, regardless of what's happening in that scene, the music itself can elicit so much emotion. And like you said, Dave, just goosebumps. you know, and it's a beautiful thing.
Okay, yeah, he has a Jim mentioned, well, two things. One, I
Oh,
cried when he found Spot too.
so
You
did
say
I.
I,
Don't, you'll
yeah,
make
say
me cry.
yeah, you knew something was going to happen, but when you say Data's like, I'm in control of my emotions. He will no longer control me. Then something's going to set
Yeah,
him off. And sure enough, finding Spot was in there, but he was mentioning of Worf's bloody knees when after Riker removed the plank. It was a production hiccup. They say Michael Dorn, he kind of scraped his knees up against the ship and it kind of put some red paint on his knees. It wasn't blood, it was just paint from the ship. And of course, with editing and post production, it's there 1 minute, gone the next. Just it's amazing what the fans can sometimes pick up on that they
yeah.
don't because
No,
they're just
I
they just
didn't.
don't think about it.
You see, I mean, I picked up on the fact that, you know, because what like, last week when Travis mentioned, was it Travis or was it you pausing on the message Picard received to say that his nephew and brother were dead?
That's Travis.
Yeah, and I said, well, actually, that's not the only thing that was real. The scroll that Riker was reading off had that speech written on it in really nice calligraphy because you can see it through the parchment. Um, and Travis didn't pick up on that. But I did, and he picked up on the message. But I know I didn't pick up on the knees at all, and so yeah, I'm very intrigued about that. I'll have to go back and watch it at some
Yeah, see,
point.
but yeah, see, I do remember though. I didn't mention this last week. The opening sequence of the Domperion spinning around in space. When I the first night I saw that in theaters, I was like, what the fetch is this? What is it? What's going on? Did I come into the right movie? I mean, even though it says Star Trek Generations, it just like the I was just like, it just
Yeah,
things spinning and just like what the heck? And it took a while for me to realize, oh, it's a bottle of champagne. Oh, it's going to hit the
yeah,
Enterprise. But it's good to know in the 23rd century that they still do that. Whether they do it in the 24th and
yeah.
the 25th now, I just don't know.
Maybe not. But yeah, you've just reminded me about something. I don't know if it was mentioned last week. I don't think it was. When like in the like opening when they were on the was it the Enterprise B?
Yep.
Um, and it was read out what Dex had hull breaches,
Mm-hmm.
and they couldn't reach Kirk. The captain and Scotty went down there, and Chekhov met them. And when Chekhov said, "Was anybody in here?" and Scotty just went, "Aye." And he knew straight away without even being told who it was that was in there. And now that I absolutely, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was heartbreaking for them. And I felt that heartbreak. Um, but the fact that they are so close to one another through all their years of friendship, that just one word, just a simple word as I, you know, can say so much is a testament to their relationship, their friendship. And that was kind of like a bit of a beautiful, like bittersweet moment for me. Because it's not often that you get friendships like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
you know, or relationships in general, that you can just like give us a look or say one word that could have any form of meaning, but the other person will know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
It's rare, and that that gave me goosebumps, and I actually did shed a tear. But I mean, it wasn't for Kirk, you know, it really wasn't. But it was
Just
for them. It was for them who, you know, that they lost somebody who was practically family to them. And, you know, I really did feel for them.
yeah, same. But that being said, kind of talking about that, because when the movie was the original script had Spock and McCoy, not Chekhov and
Yeah.
Scotty. And saying so by having Scotty in this movie, seeing Kirk die in 1994, when
Yeah.
just in the sixth season of Star Trek, they rescued Scotty out of the Genolan transporter buffer.
Yeah.
And Scotty was like, "Oh, I bet Jim Kirk pulled her out of mothballs to come rescue me." And they're like, no, it's been 80 years since that happened. You've been in the transport for a little while, dude." But
Yeah.
but now since this aired afterwards, there's that fraction of a percentage of degradation in Scotty's pattern pattern that was in the transporter. It might have like scrambled his brain a little bit and thought that Kirk was still alive after he got pulled out.
Well, yeah, because you know that is very plausible. Um, you know, he'd been in there for so long. Obviously, everybody knows. Well, not everybody, but Trekkies know how the transporters work, and you know, he was broken down and stored. So you know, it's quite plausible.
Yeah, saying
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely feeling that too, Jim, because I'm hitting the big 50 in 31 days. Oy. You see, but I am starting to
Yeah.
do stuff that does help reverse the age process. I'm doing a they call it they call it stress management, but it's just stretching exercises. See, I did it last week. I'll be doing it again tomorrow. So
I do a lot of meditation. I mean, how old am I? I'm 38. I forgot my own age then. Oh Jesus. I'm 38, but I probably have like the memory of like a 138-year-old. Um, but I mean, you know, there's reasons for that with my health and insomnia and things. But you know, I understand. I really do. And, you know, sometimes I feel like I've been trapped in a transporter buffer for ages and maybe a couple of my brain cells have got left in there, you know. So, yeah, I kind of, yeah, I can resonate with Scotty. And he loves his whiskey. So, you know.
I loved my whiskey too, but not anymore. But yeah, if you like what we're talking about, just definitely hop in chat, join us either on camera, on microphone, in the YouTube chat. Just be sure and like and subscribe to the channel because that does help us out and it helps us know that we're doing what you like. So yeah, it just helps the channel out so we can grow more because we've been getting some new subscribers. So yay to our new subscribers. And I
Oh, and
say
thank you and
hopefully,
welcome.
yes. But yeah, there's like, what are some other bits of the movie that I really liked? And saying,
I really like that they used the Klingon sisters for this
hmm,
because they're and isn't one of them the same actress who played the female Q?
no, 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 saying she played Kalar.
Kayla, that's it. I know she
Yeah.
played something else. I must be thinking of something else.
Yeah,
But
she
there's
played a Klingon,
also
but not those Klingons.
there was also another Klingon. I cannot remember the actor's name, but I have seen him in so much. He was one of the Klingons on the bridge, and I have seen him in so much. And the first thing that I ever saw him in was I think it was it the pilot episode or the second episode, I can't remember, of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He ended up playing a vampire who became like the vessel for the harvest. And any Buffy fans out there will know who I mean. But he has been in so much, and he plays really good bad guys. He does, and he was also he also played. I think he did it as he played one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse in Charmed, the original series Charmed as well. He played. Was it War? I can't remember. But I love him as an actor. I feel awful that I can't remember his name. But it was actually in another episode of Charmed. He played a god. But yeah, he plays really.
See, you're gonna have me do some homework then. I'm gonna figure that out for you, Katie.
Yeah. He
unless
played.
Travis might be watching on his phone, maybe he can look it up.
Hopefully, yeah, because it's going to really bug me. But yeah, I love him, and he makes a really good Klingon as well. I mean, his voice and like his inflections as well, his natural inflections, that he makes a perfect Klingon, and he is so big as well. He is a big guy. He is really well built, broad shoulders and everything. So yeah, I absolutely adore him. I mean, I adore Klingons anyway. And he makes a really good Klingon. But yeah, I love that they use the Klingon sisters for this. But I did, even though I absolutely love them, I hate them at the same time. You know, it's a very like fine line with me with those two.
Well, my gut was saying Tony Todd. He's played in Charmed as well.
I know. If you look at the episode, I think is it. Oh, just a minute, and I will find it. Right. Season 5.
John Delancey was in Charmed. Armin Shimmerman.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Armin Shimmerman. He played a wizard.
Yep.
Oh, there he is. What's his name? Brian Thompson. Yes,
you know,
Brian Thompson.
Yeah, you know, yours. It's funny we're saying that because I'll see if I can actually get it to show up because his come on, Kimmy. Oh, because I was saying the.
Yeah.
I can't really tell on the IMDb. If you look Brian Thompson, it's a Klingon guard. It's like, wonder if that's the guy. And I just said Brian Thompson just split second before you did. So it's like, yeah, we figured it out.
He has been in so much. He's been in like NCIS Los Angeles. He was in the Orville as Drogan. He has been in so much, but he makes a really, really good Klingon. And it was in 3 episodes of Enterprise. He played Admiral Valdor.
That sounds like a Romulan name.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, in Charmed, he played 2 separate characters, Cronus and War, one of the 4 horsemen. He was in 9 episodes of The X-Files.
He played a punk in the original Terminator.
Yeah, he played 2 characters in Buffy, the Judge and Luke. But yeah, he was in DS9. He played 2 different characters in that. Tom and Torax and Ingletu. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that.
No, Valdor, that might have been a. Well, it could have been. Yeah, it could have been Roman because he was playing in the Andorian episodes, but that had
he also
Roman.
He also played. Is it the episode I'm thinking of? It was in the TNG episode, A Matter of Honor, as First Officer Clegg. But yeah, he's been in Trek a lot, but he is a really good actor, and I just wanted to bring him up because sometimes he plays such small roles in things, and he's not very. He's not. Sometimes he plays such a small role you can miss him, but he is such a good actor, and he's been like all throughout Trek playing various roles as we've just gone through. But yeah, I just wanted to give Brian Thompson a shout out because he is amazing, and he does so well at playing bad guys because the sound of his voice is his size for one. You know, I mean, he is built like a bodybuilder. I mean, as we say over here, he is built like a brick shit house.
we use that comment over here too. So
something we have in common, dear, for a change.
Well, and he played Captain Carey in a pair of episodes of 7 Days, another UPN show that I really liked. See, I really wish that show got another season. I really enjoyed it. So it's kind of it had definitely some Stargate vibes to it. So it was set in present day, but they used alien technology from Roswell. That if there was like something calamitous that happened, those that aren't old enough to remember the show, which yeah. And it's saying that I think like one of the first episodes, terrorists dropped a bomb on the White House. So they had a chrononaut that sent him in this sphere back 7 days, and he had 7 days to try and undo that event. And sometimes some of the events it takes a couple of days for them to get approval for them to go back 7 days, so that just makes the time frame even shorter. I mean, they did a lot of Star Trek type ish episodes. It definitely had Star Trek vibes to it. What was the what was the one of the actors in there? Jonathan LaPaglia, good looking guy.
I don't even know who he is, so I can't comment.
Oh, he's Anthony LaPaglia's little brother. I forget. I haven't thought about that show in a while, but I mean, there's like I think it was Norman Lloyd. I think has been in a couple episodes of Star Trek. Alan Sharf was in an episode or 2 of Star Trek. 1 or 2 or both. But yeah, say Don Franklin from Sequest, he was on that show too.
Yeah, I like it when actors really get around in like the sci-fi world, and that they appear in different sci-fi shows, and you're just like, oh my god, Q's in Stargate, and so is the Doctor, and then just others just dot around. And I do like it when they do that because it's kind of like keeping it in the family, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry that I got us a little bit off track, but I really did just want to give a shout out about Brian Thompson because he is phenomenal.
Well, let's say he was in the movie, so technically we're still talking about the movie, but it kind of went a little bit, but
yeah, and that was my bad. I've accidentally created a lot of things today. But no, this, I will admit, this is not one of my favorite Trek movies. It isn't. I think I prefer this to Nemesis just on the basis of Data dies in Nemesis for the first time. I don't like it because of Kirk. It gets a lot better after he dies. But no, this movie for me, it ticks a lot of boxes. And tell me how I feel. Jim, kindred spirit, my darling. I adore Torchwood, and yeah, I can't stand Doctor Who, but I love Torchwood, and I actually had the honor of meeting John Barrowman, and he is a darling. He really is. But
oh yeah, Data's yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I was trying to remember when he said that.
Yes, after the duress as the ship blew up, which that's probably like one of the biggest little hiccups that I've noticed in the movie is saying that Riker ordered Worf to have a spread of photon torpedoes. The instant the ship started to cloak, he only shot one torpedo.
Yes, I was going to mention that, but I thought I'd just seen wrong, so I didn't bring it up last week. But now I'm glad that it wasn't just me. But yeah, I'm. Oh yeah, I've got the full box set. I mean, I absolutely adore it. I've actually met Gareth David Lloyd, who played Yanto, and Kai Owen, who played Reese. And he gives such good hugs. He really does.
I remember you mentioning that before. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yanto's death. Spoiler alert! When Yanto dies, I still cry when I watch that scene.
Oh, so do I. Do you know what? When I last did a rewatch of Torchwood, I started watching Children of Earth, and for the first time ever, I think it was because of where I was emotionally at the time as well, but I couldn't watch that episode. I stopped watching it, and I thought I will go back to it and carry it on when I'm, a bit more emotionally centered, and I never got around to it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, John Barrowman. Yeah, he talked me into buying a Torchwood T-shirt from his husband.
Me too. I just wrong too. Yeah. Just like what? Me too? What?
But yeah, he managed to talk me into buying a Torchwood T-shirt, even though I'd practically run out of money by this point at Comic-Con. And I bought the T-shirt, and I said to him, I'm just like, I said, you've just spent the last of my money, lad. And he looked at me, and he took my hand and he kissed the back of it, and he says, and I will forever cherish you for it. And I'm just like, oh. But yeah, he is so lovely. He really is. And I even said to him, I says, look, I don't like Doctor Who. I says, I've seen the episodes you're in. They're brilliant. I said, but I don't like Doctor Who. But I love Torchwood. And I also loved him in Arrow as Malcolm Merlin as well.
Merlin, yeah.
He actually signed a Malcolm Merlin 8x10 for me. But do you know what? I wish that John Barrowman had been in Star Trek, because he would be so good. I'm not sure exactly who or what he should play, but I think he would fit into the Trek world, especially because he's already been in sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I could see him playing a bit of a bad guy, a little bit like Malcolm Merlin in Arrow. I can see him playing a little bit of a bad guy like that. But no, Squirrel Can.
Oh my.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was looking something up to see if there's been any celebrities that have been announced for Colorado Springs Comic-Con yet. There have been none.
Well, I need to tell you something.
Who knows?
I was going to go to Liverpool Comic Con because Gillian Anderson's going. But then one guest was announced, and I've decided no. I would rather put that extra money towards going to America to see my DT family.
Aw.
William Shatner's going to be there. Yeah, and I'm sorry, but if
you don't. You want to be in the same building with him and say that's a big resentment, my dear.
No, and the only reason why is because if I was to pass him by and he was to say anything, because apparently when he passes people at Comic Cons, he'll make a point of saying hi to them. And if he was to say that to me, I don't know what I would say back. And I wouldn't want to say anything untoward. Yeah, I probably would. It's like, bye. Loved your death in generations. You know, but I really wouldn't want to say anything that would like get me into trouble or be offensive. Because I don't want to offend him. You know, he's human. I just think that he's a bit of an arrogant ass. And people like that don't sit well with me. But yeah, no. Oh no, I would say bye. I could just imagine myself, because you see, I mean, especially with the T-shirt that I'm wearing tonight, you know, it's just me all over. But I would just probably say, if he said hi to me, I'd just be like, bye, enjoyed your death. You know, but no, the T-shirt that I'm wearing tonight is this one.
I was noticing, I'm not rude. I just have the balls to say what everyone else is. Yeah, that'll be a good shirt for me too, because sometimes I just, whatever's on my mind, I blurt it out.
But you see, this is me, and it's kind of like I've got a form of Tourette's sometimes, because I haven't, but sometimes the way I can come out with things, people have actually questioned if I have Tourette's. But you know, I will say what's on my mind, and I have no filter. And I'm just so glad that you lot love me for it, because you know, at least somebody does. But no, I think that's why I resonate with Data so much. Because he will just come out with things. And I think to some degree, every Trek character can teach us something. And what Data taught me is that it is okay to ask the questions. It is okay to get the wrong end of the stick sometimes. It's okay to speak your truth unashamedly. And I think that's why I always resonated with Data more than any of the other characters in Star Trek, because I do have some of the issues that he has with like lack of filter. And then this movie as well, it hits home for me, because what Data was going through with having to try and control his emotions, and they were just going from one extreme to the other.
Mm-hmm.
I really do understand that, because my emotions were actually like that to a point where they are dangerous, and this is why I do so much meditation. But yeah, so that hit home for me. His struggle with emotion, and when he finally did get them under control, it was like a very proud moment. I do apologize. I'm very tired.
That's okay. Yeah, it's driving me nuts now, so I'm like pulling up to see some things that Anthony LaPaglia has been in. Oh, yeah, I'm not seeing anything that really grabs my attention that probably you would have been the same, but yeah.
I did really feel sorry for Data and Geordie in this movie, because you know their friendship could have really have been put to the test
Oh yeah.
with, but it wasn't. And Geordie really did understand, even though he'd been through so much, you know he was kidnapped, and he was to some degree tortured. Zach! My darling!
What up? What up, though? Oh, go on, Kevin.
Hello. Oh no, sorry. I will welcome you. But no, it did all work out. But regardless of what Geordie had been through, he understood what Data was going through with his emotion chip, and it just goes to show how wonderful their friendship is, and how close they are, and how much they've gotten to know each other. Because a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, being friends with an android, or that'll be boring, and but that they were family, that they were like brothers. Oh yeah, and Jim's just said the same as well. In that moment, an android and a human became brothers. Yeah. And it. I only like people who speak how they feel. Oh, thank you, my darling. Well, no, and I absolutely adore people who have different opinions than me, because it makes for interesting conversation. And if you can keep it nice and chill like we always do, it's a beautiful thing. But anyway, Zach, how are you, darling?
I'm doing all right. Isn't that the benefit of Star Trek in general, honestly, and what it teaches? That ecumenism, that ecumenism, that unity and humanity that we can have, or with an android or with other species. Like we're still striving to, like in the Star Trek universe, you're still you see you just figure it all out on how to effectively unify humanity in some capacity and get over your bullshit. But then you're able to, or then you get out into the stars and you realize, wow, the galaxy's basically like Earth has been for thousands upon thousands of years now, and you're back to square one. So it's just measuring. You're trying to measure up to what you're supposed to do as any different species, but it's talking to us humans, period. I mean, when it all comes down to it, I mean, there's no fallacy that, like, when you're watching Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, he wasn't stupid. He utilized the Romulans and the Federation as a parallel to the Soviet Union and the United States and their allies during the Cold War. I mean, the neutral zone was effectively the Berlin Wall. And behind that Berlin Wall was the Iron Curtain of the Romulus Star Empire.
exactly, you know. And I mean, this is one thing that I really do love about Trek is
Mm-hmm.
it mirrors reality in a way, a lot of the time, even with like all the different species, and you know, just and like the storylines and things. But this is also another reason why I love you guys so much, because
Likewise.
we prove with every episode that we do, we prove with every day of our friendship that it doesn't matter what a person is, what they believe, what their gender is. You know, it's one of our friendship group could be a purple alien from outer space with bright green hair, you know, and questionable fashion sense. But
Well,
American
that was
Dad?
Paul,
you know,
Was
buddy.
it? Yeah, that was Paul.
well, yeah, but you
No,
know,
that
it shows that different people can still be really good friends. They can become family to each other, and we embrace our differences. We discuss them in a chilled manner, and we don't hold it against each other. You know, and that's the kind of message that Trek has always sent, and that's what I love about you guys, because you know, we like each other as people, as an individual being, not because of what we are or what we're not. And that is a huge message that needs to be sent out more across the world.
you know when you're seeing purple, with hair and stuff. I was thinking of the movie Paul with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost from 2011. That's when that movie came out. Good grief, that's a good
Yeah,
movie. If you I haven't seen that one since forever, but it's a good movie. Yeah, I'd say
yeah. I
Pegg and
mean,
Frost. They're a good duo on camera. And of course, yeah, brain was going somewhere with that, but I lost it. Yeah, in
yeah,
Nemesis, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I I absolutely see. I this is why I adore Data. And you know, if he was a woman, I'd
Actually,
marry him.
I actually,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like at the end of Nemesis, when Data blew up, I sobbed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what?
Uh,
No.
I cried too. And see, I still cry a little
Yeah,
bit when I rewatch Nemesis, but not as
Mm-hmm.
much. But the thing, like when they were having the wake at the end of the movie,
Oh yeah, yeah.
when Riker was sharing the story about when he first met Data, he was trying to whistle, and he's like, I
yeah,
don't remember that what he was singing. And everyone in the audience was like, "Pop goes the weasel."
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like if the audience, I don't know if they did that intentionally, but I mean, if Riker can't remember something like that, it's like, good grief, what's wrong?
yeah.
It,
It was a good moment.
I would say we should watch that and critique it, but
Nemesis.
it be yeah, but it's pretty bad. So that there'd be a lot of critiques.
Oh yeah, starting with the director, who's
Oh
never watched a
yes.
lick
Yeah,
of Star Trek. That just
No.
it's like, oh, we're gonna
No.
do a fresh take on this, and yeah, saying when the cast was saying no, that they wouldn't do this, they wouldn't do that. He's like, I don't care, I'm the director. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like,
no. Yeah, you see,
but
there was a lot of issues with that movie, but I still like the premise of it, and I forced myself to see through the bad, and I forced myself to, you know, attempt not to make a voodoo doll of that
Mm-hmm.
director. Um, but you know, it that scene when Data sacrifices himself, you know, it to this day, every time I watch it, I still cry like a baby, and
Mm-hmm.
I do it unashamedly.
Who's going to get?
Yes, I do remember that. It was something.
It's like middle of the middle of the series, wasn't it?
Series.
Yeah, like season. I'd like to say it was season 5.
You see, there was an episode that you see. I'm thinking about 2 episodes, like Time's Arrow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that. I was just saying to Dave earlier because we're covering that double episode next. Over the next 2 weeks. But there was also another episode as well. Yep. Where there was something going on, and there ended up being like 3 daters, or was there 4, all lined up in front of this like reactor.
Oh, that was we'll always have Paris.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Oh.
He, he was, if the wrong data, there was something going on.
They're trying to close a fissure that Dr. Mantine created that was causing hiccups and whatnot. And
so like if the correct data didn't do what was needed, everybody
at the right
would
time.
Yeah, and that's what my mind went back to. I'm not sure if it's what Jim was on about, but but yeah, that's where my brain went to. He shot at something and it blew, just like in Nemesis. Oh, so I am right. Yes. Yay me. Sorry, I get really excited when I remember things like this because I have a terrible memory and I'm a terrible Trekkie. Yay. Go me. Go me.
Trekker. It's Trekker.
I'm just
Trekker,
a terrible
tomato.
Yeah, I'm a terrible Trekkie Trekker.
Trekkie Trekker.
Yeah,
Let's just combine both of them.
Why not? It's me we're talking about. But I'm my memory makes me a terrible fan of anything. It's very rare that I even forget the actor's name, Zach. So I think when we was, I can't remember what episode we was talking about. I can't remember what it was. But I said William Frakes instead of Jonathan Frakes or William Riker, and I'm just like, and then
to be fair, you were half right and half right. I mean, it is William, and it is Frank. So
but I'm just like, how can I forget his name? His name was only said like a few minutes before.
Yeah, well, luckily you didn't say Brent Stewart.
Yes, Patrick Picard or Jean-Luc Stewart.
Jean-Luc Stewart.
But no,
that sounds like a name though.
It does, although
Actually,
Patrick Picard sounds better than Jean-Luc Stewart. But no, this is how much of a terrible Trekkie Trekker I am. And you can blame Zach for that new word.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Trekkies. I just made a new word, Trekkie Trekker. Trekkie Trekker. I'm gonna ask about that. What's the deal with that? What is the deal with the Trekkie Trekker rivalry?
From what I understand, because I've been there at that where the Trekker kind of started to roll. Like Trekkie predominantly are people that like TOS. Trekkers are like all the new stuff, like Next Generation onward.
So I was right. Katie's a Trekker.
Yes.
You don't like TOS.
I may not like it, but I've seen it.
Well, I would assume
I was subjected to the cage. That is like time of my life I cannot get back, Zach. Do you understand how bad my migraine got through boredom? you know,
I
and I
will.
was just like, ugh.
I will
Honestly, to
say.
die of boredom, you would watch In the Cage. You know, I mean, the second part of it in Strange New Worlds is much better.
I mean, I will say, in order to really truly like get a taste for what TOS was supposed to be and what it should have been, that's where I like the animated series, because it just goes, they're able to do more
Yeah.
for what it's worth, even
Yeah,
for
I
the
don't like that either.
1970s. Yeah, I mean that's
Well, see,
acquired taste, just because.
yeah, because
Well,
with the animated series, you weren't constrained to having to build sets. You want a set, you draw it.
yeah,
Boom.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
see, but
also has
a
every.
lot,
Oh, go ahead, Dave. I'm.
saying a lot of the actors, they were voicing multiple characters because they were able to do that because you didn't see them, so
Hmm.
you didn't have to worry about makeup, things like that.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
and you know, I take my hat off to them for doing that. I don't know. I could never connect with it. I mean, I struggled connecting with Lower Decks, with it being an animation, and I don't
Mm,
understand why. Because I love cartoons. I mean, I still watch the original X-Men cartoons. I've got all the series on DVD. Um,
nice.
you know, but and like you know the old Spider-Man and oh Beckett.
You're getting the stink eye from her.
But you know, I grew to love. I You didn't let me finish. I did grow to love Lower Decks, but it did take me a while to get into it, and I think it was because it was animated, and it still
Hmm.
confuses me to this day because I love animation. I mean, I love anime as well. Um,
Hmm.
apart from the latest trend, but you know, I just like TOS and the animated series, it was just one big contradiction, and especially in TOS, you know, William Shatner's acting skills were just really, really over
He's
the top.
yeah. He's that's Bill. He has
The
to go
thing
over
is
the top.
though, the thing is though, if he would have acted as Kirk in TOS, how he
Hmm.
acted, more of how he acted in Generations, I
Yeah.
could have gotten along with it a lot better because I can tolerate him in this because he is very toned down. And I mean, I even admitted last week he said something that I would say myself, and it pains me to admit that. But when he said to Picard after, you know, learning of danger, peril, probable death, sounds like fun.
Hmm.
And that is really something what I would say. And you know, so I may not like the guy, but in Generations he was a lot more toned down. And if he'd have been like that in TOS, I probably wouldn't have hated it the way that I do. And that's the issue that
Hmm.
I have because I nearly missed out on Trek because of him.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
if it wasn't for my accidental viewing of First Contact, we would not be here now.
Honestly, I wonder if someone may have, if he was told to kind of tone it down, or if maybe he himself decided, well, this isn't real. And maybe he finally grew on his own and decided
From what
to
I've heard,
pave the way.
it was a little bit of both.
Hmm.
Um, but it was mainly he was told to tone it down.
Mm.
And initially he was just like, well, no, there's nothing wrong with the way Kirk is. And but then he went away and thought about it and he's like,
Oh,
actually,
excuse me.
yeah, you
Mm.
know, back then it was a little bit over the top. I'll tone it down. And the fact that, you know, it was starting to be getting on in years. You know, it was older, he couldn't do as many action scenes. So he did have to tone it down a hell of a lot. and it
Mhm.
wasn't his movie. It was like him passing the baton,
Yep.
and he was made aware of that, and he took that on board, and he did a good job in the movie, and I will give him credit for that. You know, I'm not inherently evil, um, but yeah, it is just one of those things. But I'm glad that he toned it down for this movie, because I adore this movie. It's not a favorite of
Mhm.
mine. It isn't, but like I do prefer it over Nemesis, just on the premise that I don't like watching Nemesis because I sob like a baby, my heart breaks, someone
Mhm.
punches a hole in my chest and rips out my heart because they killed Data, you know.
Mhm.
And that's the only reason why I prefer it over Nemesis. Literally the only reason.
Yeah, but because of Nemesis, we got Star Trek Picard, and technically Data wasn't dead.
Yeah.
Data can't.
And
Data can't die.
well,
He's
no,
in.
and I love that, because I mean, Data's died what, like twice, three times now.
Yeah, something like that. I think 3 times.
Um, but you know, I just love that he came back,
Mhm.
because he is like hands down my favorite Trek character of all time, and it is because I resonate with his personality so much.
The
And
eccentricism, the exploration, the curiosity.
well, yeah, and you know, a lot of people are like, really, I mean, I am inherently curious. I am. And I'm also quite nosy. And what a lot of people
Mhm.
don't seem to realize about Data is that he's a nosy twat. He
He
really
is.
is. You know, he'd be really good in a gossip column. He really
I
would.
mean, if he wasn't so nosy, he doesn't. He doesn't bang Lieutenant Yar.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You know, and you know, we are not getting into that conversation, Dave, so don't even go there.
I mean, I'd bang her
But
too. So
well, yeah,
I had a
obviously, so would
I
I.
had a
You got to
crush on
remember.
her.
You got to remember her hologram recording. It's like he's got Data has the wonder of a child.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and you know what? I can honestly say that sometimes I do as well. And I mean, I look at a sunset like it's the first time I've ever seen one, and a clear night sky, you know, and I will find beauty in the strangest of places,
Mhm.
and I will get excited like a child about the simplest of things. And you know, it's like I was saying earlier, Data taught me that it is okay to speak your truth. It's okay to be curious. It's okay to wonder, and it's okay to be intrigued by the small things that people take for granted. And I cling on to that, and I always will. And this is why Data is my favorite, because I resonate with him so much. And you know, if they, I swear, if they ever kill Data off again and that's it, I will not be a very happy kitty.
Well,
What was
just add to that list, Jim. Um, the Doomsday Machine was a really strong Kirk episode, in my opinion. Uh,
mm,
All I can say is I love Data because I I love Spock, and Data makes a better Spock.
oh yeah,
Basically.
you see, I've
and
always loved
having
Spock as
Spock and
well.
Hmm.
Data actually interact with one another. I thought that in unification that was a
Oh,
Oh, the
That
beauty,
was
the beauty
awesome.
of that episode. The beauty, like
Hmm.
Spock is like my second favorite Star Trek character. Again, I resonate with him, because he's half human. He struggles
And
more than the average Vulcan of suppressing his emotions. And again, I resonate with that. Um, and that was just a beautiful thing to see those two on screen together, to see them interacting. It was golden.
the only
Uh,
thing that sucks about Generations, in my opinion, is DeForest Kelly died before they made it, so he couldn't be in it. And I really miss Bones. And I actually like Bones a lot more because he actually knows how to deal with Bill, both Bill and Kirk. So
no, no, I
I
would
Yeah.
kind of
say, no,
empathize with him.
yeah. Hold on, though.
Yeah, I was
It,
gutted that
I
McCoy
don't think he
wanted
was
yeah,
in
it.
there, was he?
no, no,
No,
no.
no, he
He
was
was
dead.
he was supposed to be been in Generations. It was supposed to be Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, and both DeForest and Leonard said this is just a bit part. No, I don't want anything to do with it. Yeah, but DeForest didn't pass away until 1999. But I mean,
Oh, really? I thought
yeah, he was getting up there in years. He was
he was pretty old.
dealing with a lot of illness.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The one true Star Trek convention that I've been to in '94, DeForest Kelly was supposed to have been there, but he was too ill to travel, so his doctors wouldn't allow him
Mm,
to go. So they sent out Grace Lee Whitney from the original series, and then Marina Sirtis, and that's when I
hmm.
learned that she crashed the Enterprise into a planet.
Yeah.
But she had no control over that. She just took the helm. She
No.
was thrown into a situation. But as I've shared
Yeah.
before in earlier episodes, that I just laughed my ass off when Picard ordered her to crash the Enterprise E into the scimitar in Nemesis. And some people were looking at me funny about that. It's just like, I'll tell you later.
Yeah, yeah, that, yeah. Um, but no, when it comes to this movie,
Me
um,
too, Jim.
I did miss McCoy. I did. Because I think he would have been absolutely brilliant in that scene.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, I've always like I've always loved McCoy and Spock.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, this is one of the reasons why I really, really love the Kelvin Timeline movies. I don't give a crap what anybody says.
They're actually really
It's
good movies. I agree.
they are, and it's an alternate reality. Things can be different, so people can
Hmm.
just shut up about that. Multiverse and all that. I'm a big believer in it, and there are differences in every universe. I mean, in one of many, one of the universes out there, I could be straight. I mean, it's a sickening thing, but in another universe, I could be a bloke. I could be a man in another universe. You
Could
could be
be.
a woman, Zach.
Nope.
Yeah, the comic books, they've actually delved into that. So not only does
Yeah,
it's part of the Kelvin universe is that all the characters are gender swapped.
In another
but the thing is,
universe, I'm not a woman. In another universe, there, Katie. I'm a gay Gorn.
yes, yes, the gay god. Yes. Sorry, that was. Oh, I'm stimming off my tits here. No, honestly, no, really, no, yes, yes.
But
I'm so
I don't
sorry.
have.
I'm so sorry.
See, I'm gonna have to bug Phil to get a if he finished that gay Gorn, so I could just like
Yeah.
whenever it gets popped up, we'll pop him up there.
I'm sorry. I just
Me,
popped out with that. Does that go and look gay? Okay, go. I love that. Yes, Zach. I think he would be. But no. Oh, sorry. That was a very
Kim.
And
excitable moment. I'm calm. I'm calming. But no, and Carl Urban did a really good job at playing McCoy.
Oh yeah,
Um,
When Leonard Nimoy saw the screening of it,
yeah,
his portrayal brought him to tears. They say it was
Well,
just
yeah.
so spot on to Forrest Kelly.
Yep.
Leonard Nimoy actually handpicked Zachary to play Spock as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
And their interaction on screen, albeit brief, was just beautiful.
And I wonder what Leonard would think of the guy who's playing Spock now. I think he does a decent job, but
Ethan
I
Peck?
wonder.
I
So
love Ethan. I really do. I think he plays Spock really well. Although it took me a really long time to get used to him in Strange New Worlds because I got really used to Spock with a beard.
oh,
And then when he shaved it all off, I'm just like, who the hell are you? And you know, he looks so different, and I'm just like, yeah, I think that there should create another alternate reality where Spock has a beard, and Ethan should still play him. But no, I do like the Kelvin movies. I do, and I think that everyone in it plays their part so well. I mean, I actually love Chris Pine as Kirk. I really do. It is like the only time that I've actually liked Kirk. Yeah,
he played a hell of a Kirk, honestly, and I like the dynamic that. I mean, Kirk and Spock, Bill and Leonard had that dynamic going, even though they hated each other. But Kirk and Spock was a great dynamic, period. But to see the role reversal that they did in the Kelvin timeline, to where Spock gets elevated rather than Kirk, they did that well. I mean, J.J. Abrams, to his credit, did that well in the first movie, and a little bit of the second, but you really saw it in the first movie.
Oh yeah, and then in the second movie when Kirk saved the ship and Spock loses his cool and does the con stream.
I really loved that role reversal as well. And I mean, Zachary played it so well. And I do think at some point we should cover the Kelvin timeline movies because I know that they get a lot of shit. But if you look at them as an individual entity, they are brilliant movies. They are Trek, just in a different universe. And the differences that are there are absolutely acceptable because it is an alternate reality.
Another thing is I think you just said this, but Carl Urban definitely was McCoy. He played. He did DeForest Kelly good right there. Simon Pegg actually does James Doohan well as Scotty.
Yes.
I didn't like the girl that played Urahai, and I did not like old Harold playing Sulu. I think that was just trash, and I did not like Chekhov's character either.
No, I loved all of them. I mean, I was very like touch and go with is it Zoe Salander?
Something like that, yeah.
Who played Uhura?
She's the only one that wasn't like really close to what.
I was a little bit on the fence with her. Because
the girl that plays
Uhura.
I mean, the girl that plays her as Ensign Yura in Strange New World she does a hell of a job.
Celia, I can't remember her name, but I mean, she is a stunning woman as well.
Celia Rose Goody.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she is a stunning woman, and she is so lovely. But no, I didn't really like her as Uhura. I mean, I think she is a wonderful actress. She is. I mean, she's brilliant in Guardians of the Galaxy. And
that sucked.
That's Spock, but
yes. My apologies. Yes, I that went completely over my head
On-
there.
They took
Autumn-
they took the one kiss. Speaking of that, they took the one kiss that Kirk and Uri had in the
Uhura.
series, Ura, and I'm still saying it wrong. I'll always say it wrong.
Uhura.
And then turned it into a relationship between her and Spock in the Kelvin.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I mean, I liked it for Spock. I did, but I didn't like that it was with her. And the guy who played Chekhov, I really did love him.
Anton
He was
Yelkin.
so
No,
yeah, Anton, bless his heart. He was a proper sweetheart. And the guy who played Sulu, it was
Kumar
one of the
or no
very.
Harold.
But the thing is, he was so used to playing comedic roles, and
Mhm.
it's only the second
Thank
time
you.
I've seen him play a serious role. And the
John
first time
Cho. That's
John
Yeah,
Cho.
John Chill.
The only two times that the only two instances, like characters that he's ever played as a serious role is as Sulu, and then he was in an episode of the original Charmed in season 1. He played a guy who was murdered,
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
he came back as a ghost. And he is actually quite good at playing serious roles, and he likes to get out of his comfort zone. But I think he did a really good job, and I do know that.
I think they should have stopped off at White Castle, or maybe not.
But what's his name? Oh, I blanked on yet another actor's name. The original guy who played Sulu.
George Takei.
Yeah, George Takei. Yeah.
yeah, George Takei
Little-
rhymes with gay.
little-
Yeah, he actually really did approve of John Cho playing Sulu.
He would.
The fact that that they honoured George Takei's sexual orientation as well in Beyond.
Mhm.
Oh,
And it was just so brief. And
That's right.
It was something or nothing, but it was just
oh,
when they went to Yorktown and he ran up to his husband and his daughter. That was a really sweet scene, but it wasn't overly much. It was very subtle, but and then like Kirk just looked on and smiled really sweetly. It was very subtle and it was done very well.
all I gotta say though, George, get off of Twitter or Blue Sky if you're probably on that now. Just get off social media, please.
But no, I do like Kelvin movies.
I do too. I actually do. Beyond, actually, the second one, Into Darkness, I wasn't a big fan of. But,
And that's my favorite.
I'm a big. I don't know. I'm a traditionalist when it comes down to it, and I just think they butchered Wrath of Khan. They butchered Khan, in my opinion. It just didn't feel like Khan.
You see, this is what people aren't understanding. Yeah, fair enough. The Kelvin Timeline movies are very, very different to TOS and all that. But what people always fail to remember is that it is an alternate reality. Things are not always the same in another reality. And it was basically a what-if scenario. These movies are basically what-if scenarios of like another timeline and alternate reality. And I like the twists they put on it. And I'm sorry, but Benedict Cumberbatch, I prefer him playing Khan than Doctor Strange. And I know that's very much out there, but don't get me wrong, he is a brilliant actor, but what spoils Doctor Strange for me is that Benedict Cumberbatch, I love you so much, guy, but you cannot do an American accent to save your life. I could probably do a better job. But you
But
know,
can you do a better job speaking in the German?
you
Me
sound more
neither.
Russian, Zach.
Oh well,
Is that
I couldn't tell if it was German or if it was from the fatherland or the motherland. Is it the fatherland or the motherland?
The motherland.
The motherland.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm chalk up now.
But no, I know that a lot of people like give the Kelvin movies a lot of shit, but I like how they were done. It was a different spin on things, and it was allowed, and it is perfectly acceptable because it is an alternate
Oh yeah.
reality. And
Hmm.
I like different twists on things.
I
And
just I just didn't like this role for Benedict, and I like Benedict
yeah? And
Cumberbatch.
oh, I
It just
loved the
wasn't her.
role. I
Yeah.
loved it because do you know what? Do you know if you had never seen TOS, you never knew about Ratha Khan, and you came in, watching that, you would probably actually like him in that role if you
Probably.
didn't know the original. And you see,
r-
I'm able to compartmentalize. I'm
mhm.
able to see things for what they are. And people, unfortunately, I love you, Travis. I really do. Mwah. But people
Where
like
is Travis?
Travis and people like you, technical difficulties, possible virus on his laptop. But all these like traditionalists of Trek,
I'm
they
not gonna
really do
lie.
bitch about things, and I'm just like, whoa, hold on a minute. If you would have come into it later on down the line, you would think completely different. And if
Damn
you
it, Katie.
actually accept that this is an alternate reality, you'd probably
Yeah,
actually like the bloody movies.
we're the Sabanticus of Star Trek, okay? All right. We deny that the new series even happened. All right. We're just like the Sabanticus deny the Pope. All right. They say there was all right. We are the Savanticus of Star Trek. No, but really, the only reason I don't like Benedict Cumberbatch, I he's awesome. He's like he always plays roles, almost every role that he does, phenomenally. But
Mm,
I probably would have still went in there even if I hadn't watched TOS or Rathacon or anything. I probably would have went in there and still I would still see him as Sherlock Holmes because it was right around that
yeah,
area.
yeah.
So I'd probably be like, "What the fuck is this?" I mean,
But you
go
see,
solve a mystery there, Sherlock.
this is where I'm very thankful that I can switch my brain the way that I can in that sense, because
Mm,
I've I've always like, I mean, there's a series of books I love, and I've brought this up before. Um, the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare, Shadowhunters. Now, I saw the movie, The Mortal Instruments City of Bones. I absolutely adore it. And, Jamie Campbell Bower, he is brilliant. And then I discovered the TV series on Netflix, Shadowhunters. But it wasn't until I was halfway through that I actually realized they were based on books. And then I watched that, and then it wasn't until about 2 years ago that I finally read the series. And each incarnation, like each of the three, they are so different from each other. But I love all three, and I do not compare, because I see it as, because of how different they are, I see it as like a multiverse. And, the differences are allowed. And I am able to compartmentalize and separate like that, but not a lot of people can. And I was actually kicked out of a Shadowhunter group on Facebook for pointing that out. And
wow.
yeah, and I'm just like,
wow.
if you're going to watch something and be a fan of it, and there are more than one incarnation of it, then you basically need to suck it up, Buttercup, and accept it. Because that is one reality, this is another. They are separate entities. And so many people are unable to do that. And I am actually quite glad that I'm able to do that. Oh, I am sending so much serenity to your son. Mwah. Love you lots, darling.
Hopefully he'll be able to calm down, Jim.
Yeah, I hope he settles soon, bless him. But no, I've had my really big rant, and yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, as to why I'm able to love the Kelvin timeline movies. So back to you, Dave.
I just think if
Back to
there's
you in
anything
the
else,
studios, Dave.
just trying to think that there's any other topics in relation to the movies that we haven't touched on either tonight or last week. So, because we're creeping up on that 2 hour mark. Since
There
we
was
talked about
something earlier that I wanted to bring up, but I completely forgot, and I don't know why I forgot about it.
Well, there's one bit from Generations that I think kind of I see where they were going with it. I understand how it furthers the plot line along,
Oh.
but the with Picard's first experience in the Nexus with the Christmas with his quote unquote family that he never had, and his nephew was still alive, and all that, just like that part of the movie was a bit of a yawn for me.
And that says so much about Picard. You see, this is another thing that pisses people off about me, is because I look into things really deeply. That showed a hell of a lot of Picard's psyche that we'd never seen before. And it delves very deep into the recesses of his soul, that entire scene. And especially because he just lost his nephew, and there's always been somebody to carry on the Picard line, and he had sacrificed all of that for his career, and he'd carried that very stoically. And even though it's like a lull in the movie, and it doesn't really seem to fit, it actually fits perfectly when you delve deep into the psychology of it all. And it's actually quite painful, and it hits me in the feels when I watch that, because he is, like, Jean-Luc Picard is a wonderful human being, and he is a father to his crew. I've always said that he's very much like a father to Data, and he sacrificed having a family because he just thought, well, I have my career, I have my crew, I have my ship, the family line will carry on. And within that, well, yeah, but within that Christmas scene, you could, well, I could anyway, I could see the possible regret and the heartbreak and all the what ifs. And I get very emotional watching that scene because I see all of that. And it did work out okay, because in like, spoiler alert, people, those who haven't seen season 3 of Picard, in 3, 2, 1, Picard ends up having a son with Beverly, and the Picard line is going to be carried on. So it did all work out in the end. But I understand why people don't really like that Christmas scene, and why they find it a bit boring to watch. But it fascinates me because I can see it for what it is, and it is heartbreaking.
Mhm.
And I'm actually quite glad that a lot of people don't see that, because if they did, then it's quite sad.
Yeah, and that I just double
Yeah.
checked and think I remember right. Like one of his kids in the Nexus uh was played the changeling that Raffi and Worf captured in season
Yes.
3 Picard, Thomas Decker.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that, but yeah.
So that they did, but yeah, so many hypotheses that can be thrown out about that. But
But no, I mean, overall, this is a good movie. It has some dips. It has its like major lows, but overall,
Yeah.
it is a really good movie, and there's a lot in it. There's a lot of emotion in it, and a lot of that emotion isn't really in your face. You've got to look really deep to see it, like in the Christmas scene.
hmm
But it
Yeah.
is a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Um, yeah, and Kirk dies. Sorry.
Katie. See,
Damn.
You
but
wouldn't
They
want
should
yeah,
it.
have what they should have done instead of Kirk. They should have brought Will Wheaton back. Wesley should have came back, and then they'd kill him. I would have been happy.
I'll
Mm-mm.
say that I think that Will Wheaton. I mean, there was like some love lost when 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 Wesley left the show early in season 4, but yeah, coming back with his bit parts, coming back as Traveler Wesley in season 2 of Picard, as Traveler Wesley in season 2
Oh, I
of Star
forgot.
Trek Prodigy. Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot he was in Picard. Yeah. See that.
yeah. And he had a bit part in the 2009 Kelvinverse Star Trek. He
Yeah,
he
I
was
do
like,
remember that.
yeah, he's one of the voices of a Romulan just shouting in the background. He said we didn't see him, but we heard him.
We
And so when I
just.
heard that was Will Wheaton, I was like, what? And he got credited for
Mhm.
it too. Um,
We just can't. I mean, it's the curse of Wesley Crusher is still upon us.
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, Phil, he has been notably absent because of his work schedule, but he's been assured that he gets the next 2 Mondays off. And since his birthday's coming up, next week, or not next week, but the week after, I was asking him what his like all-time favorite episode of Star Trek was, and he said Time Zero. So we're going to talk about Time Zero next week.
Hmm.
And but
Nice.
what we're going to do. Wait, you're telling him right now, being on screen there, Katie.
You just told me.
I'm not talking to Zach, Dave.
See, but we're going to do what we did these last 2 weeks. Next week we're going to talk about part 1, and then we're going to talk part 2 the week after that. So everything comes full circle, as Guinan says.
Hmm.
But so that's why I kind of have her kind of in the shadows there on that second graphic that I made. I had a lot of
I
fun
like
making the graphic.
I
What's
like
that?
to concede. I like to concede. It's not that I don't like Wesley. It's that I just got sick of the role.
Well, no,
And
no,
he
just
was
like you,
such a
you got this,
spoiled little brat.
and he's the
But
one
when
that
he,
often
yeah,
he's the one that ends up saving the ship on countless occasions.
that is true
Even when
though. I will say that.
even when he
I'll give him
visited
that.
the Enterprise, the episode The Game, it's like he and Robin Leffler, they end up saving the ship.
That is true. I will
But
say that.
also,
I'll give him that. I'll give him credit where credit's due.
Dave, did you know that Zach owns cats?
Yes.
Cats are more of dickheads than Wesley ever was, and yet Zach loves his cats.
Hmm.
Oh,
Cats are inherently dickheads, you know. They are, and that's one of the reasons I love them. And you know, that'll be one of the reasons why Zach loves them as well. And you know, he's not denying it. And yet, you know, Wesley's a bit of an arrogant
They are
teenager.
assholes.
And you know, yeah, Wesley's a little bit of an arsehole and a bit of an arrogant teenager. And you know, ooh, everybody hates Wesley. You know, it's fuck off.
yeah, but there's
I'll
He does
stand up
come
for
back.
it.
He does come back in a lot of his bits, and he's a little bit more refiner. I will say that. So
oh yeah,
a
absolutely.
little grown up.
But give you guys a little inside scoop when I do transition on into other things, whether it be 6 months, 6 years, the when I'm able to adopt a dog again, say it's going to be I'm going to go a small breed. I don't know what breed yet, but
Mhm.
I'm going to name him Cisco.
And it'll be
And
I like
a Cisco than Cisco.
I
what's
like it.
that?
It'll be a better Cisco than Cisco.
Oh,
Back
there's
Fat
to
Bad
kitty.
Katie. No, but since you missed it earlier, Zach, in the show, I'm saying just got my 18-month chip on Tuesday.
Nice.
Yes.
Bravo. Keep
Yeah, so
keep
as you
doing the
guys
work,
know, so
man.
I'm going to the rooms.
Yep.
I keep going back
That's
because it
awesome.
works. So I just need
Hmm.
to work with my sponsor a little bit more. Saying so it just things will be changing. Things will be better, I think, in the long run. But I can share a
Hmm.
little more details with that with you guys backstage, since I don't want to make it
Yeah.
public knowledge just yet. So, but yeah,
Make
when
what
that
public
time comes,
knowledge?
I'll let you know backstage. But you guys can probably know a little bit about that already. But yeah, it's a process. It's a long process, but we're getting it going there. So, but yeah, that is it for Star Trek Generations. And saying until next week, may Spock be with you. Hailing frequencies are now closed.
Toodles.